Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finale of Season 1 of Agent Carter. We're doing Episode 8, Valediction.
Mm-hmm.
Crossed wires there, I think.
Well, hopefully. Let us hope that things can come to a head.
We'll find out, I guess.
Alright then.
But yeah, start right before the Marvel logo.
Mm-hmm.
In 3, 2, 1, click.
What does valediction mean?
Like validation and
Yes,
addiction.
Yes.
It only occurred to me during the last couple of episodes, but I can't look at Peggy's outfit in the start of the recap section and not think Paddington Bear.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, will this be the episode where we finally see her wear the outfit that, shows up in the advertising? Since, I don't think we've seen her in the outfit yet in story.
Agent Carter, the finale, Season 1.
And now
Also, I was going to make a comment about the cinema fight scene, but that would actually be a big spoiler for something we are getting to at some point.
Yes, the finale. Farewell, Peggy. Forever.
Okay, the term dweebs was properly started being used in the middle of the 17th century, and it's a amalgamation between a couple of things. The Latin words vale and dicere, which would be translated to say goodbye, but adding sliding in the English word of benediction. So we combined the three words into one in that kind of sense.
Oh, Dominic Cooper, hello.
Which means we'll probably be seeing Howard Stark again for this episode.
I mean, it is the season finale, so, you have to expect a bit of a, couple of surprises. Which, as a reminder, there is a post-credit scene I will also have to tell. I don't remember at which point it is, but just stay tuned for that too.
Bites, scratches, and everything.
Even ripping off hair from someone.
Vampire gas.
It really feels like a plan that instead the Joker would do in the DC universe.
Well, Last Laugh basically had him gassing the whole earth to turn everyone into people like him when he thought he was going to die. So...
Okay, in a sense, this operates more on rage, because if it was instead people attacking each other out of fear, that would instead be the Scarecrow's plan, like I said in the previous part.
Yeah, so if Joker were doing this, it would first of all be laughing gas, first and foremost.
Is Jokerizing toxin, yeah.
Which he did do in Dark Knight Returns when you think about it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Why did you do that?
You're supposed to aim it away from you when you spray something.
I think he didn't quite see the nozzle. Oh, crud. Hopefully it wears off.
I think he's been brainwashed.
I mean, they're working for the Soviets, so, American hegemony in a way is what they're trying to do. Again with the a bit of artsy lighting.
Don't you see? He cares about creation. She cares about destruction.
Oh, so the two villains from the first two Swan Princess sequels.
Yeah. With the forbidden arts.
They're a good match. One destroys, one rebuilds, I guess.
How terrible. Bye.
Well, at least you didn't have to hypnotize him this time.
Wait a
Wait.
minute.
The time. Oh.
Oh,
Damn
what?
it!
Well, you were in the clear. Why?
She probably heard
Probably
the radio
because she
chatter.
heard. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so apparently anyone who survives doesn't remember what they did while under the influences of the gas. Look, I know he can be a dick, but that's a bit of an overreaction.
So they kind of know what
I
they
guess
thought.
it's a thing where they slowly, put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. It's a literal blinding rage.
Fair enough.
Jesus.
I mean, sometimes colleagues are just like that.
Not of assuming, yeah, this was just an experiment and we want to bring back the canisters to replicate.
Hmm. Always got that Stark snark.
No, not particularly.
This isn't a bribe for. Don't bribe your way out.
The thing is, you could have all the money in the world for bribery. These guys hate you so much that won't be able to get you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
It's a common type of, storytelling. The person who thought they could buy the world, but then finds out, you can't buy, people in for eternity.
So basically, the military had licensed him to make a little something to help their soldiers out, stay awake. Unfortunately, he accidentally ended up creating this hellspawn of gas.
It's called oversaturation.
The typical lab accident, trying to create a cure for cancer, ended up creating an accidental death ray.
Just, okay, to be fair, Joe, it's kind of like that stupid prologue narration that there is in Mission Impossible 2, where they say that we created the cure called Bellerophon, so let's make the virus Chimera, of course.
Oh. And don't forget Resident Evil Apocalypse, the second Resident Evil movie, where it turns out the origin of the T virus was Ashford trying to cure cancer, and his daughter ended up making people into zombies.
Yeah, I was gonna say showy in public, just like a Stark would do.
Coney Island? No. Sorry, we don't have the money to film there.
Disney.
Of course.
We all belong to Disney.
Shame that Disney don't have a theme park in New York. They almost did, believe it or not, but, well, that didn't happen.
Well, is there still a theme park on Coney Island, Trevor?
Yes.
Maybe we will buy
Coney
that
Island
eventually.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Show off.
Didn't even break a sweat.
It's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, to Jarvis's credit, he has every right to be pissed with Stark too, after everything he's gone through.
It's evidence.
Good to know.
Oh,
Why would you make a machine that's photosensitive?
the OCD is kicking in.
I guess to his credit, this is 1940s technology, so there are probably limitations.
Or you could look at it funny and it'll explode.
Oh, yeah. That one does not like being frowned at. Basically, Howard Stark is feeling massive amounts of guilt over that gas, which, I mean, to be fair, saying what it does, yeah, I can imagine that keeping someone awake at night.
Can't
I'm sure
imagine
Tony
being
won't follow in his...
Idiot.
Did he just take
the Pokeball with Steve's blood in it. I know that it's just a sphere, but it really looks like a Pokeball.
I choose you, Bloodman.
I mean, it opens like one.
Maybe it doesn't make the noise.
Oh, look, Peggy's finally wearing the suit, just not the hat.
I wouldn't call this a surfing Dracula situation because she was in the office from the beginning instead of becoming the agent at the very end. So there's that.
I mean... And I guess it's not like that particular suit is like an iconic outfit she wore from the comics, as far as I know, anyway. Oh, just like Tony Stark, Howard has a big hearing where he's cleared of charges.
Yeah, but he can't bring himself to say that's it. You're humbled by him.
Oh. What the heck?
Excuse me.
Oh,
shit.
crud.
How did you not see the bodies
Okay, to their credit, the car was covering the bodies. Brainwashed.
He's like, okay, this is a bit of a snag. I'll just sit here and be calm.
Automatic.
Oh,
Makes sense,
And then
because
someone looks and then someone looks out the window. It is Peggy Carter. She did it.
yeah, they deliberately, rigged to miss the shot to make sure that people will be scattering.
And it worked.
Hmm.
2 steps ahead.
Oh, and yes, the blood.
Well, hey, at least they removed the inside, the door handles.
Oh, Stark, bribery will especially not work here.
Yeah, I was saying it's actually one of the story arcs of one of the characters in Sino Alice, specifically the boy who became Aladdin. His scene, as it's called, is called Nouveau Riche, and is exactly that, in thinking that he can buy literally everything and everyone into his happiness.
Hmm.
His real life counterpart is extremely tragic, where he's a stockbroker in Tokyo that just wants to make his family happy, but he can't, and then dies due to caffeine overdose. Not even kidding. Of
Oh
course,
boy.
Times Square.
It's like, okay, it's like people think New York is only Times Square and the Statue of Liberty.
No, there's also the Empire State Building and the Flatiron Building. That's it. Okay, Central
Yeah.
Park to be fair, but still.
They changed cars.
I'm not going anywhere. Do you have to point the gun at me?
Just to be sure. Remember,
Of course.
remember they were actually checking suspects for people who actually slept with Howard Stark. So
Of course the spy was among them. Which, to be fair, yeah, that was the reason they were checking into that. Well cried.
There's a hidden one, isn't
of
there?
course, private jets and all.
And it's been hidden this whole time.
6 months earlier.
Oh god, of course he took her there to have sex in.
God damn it!
You know, if it didn't wipe out Tony's existence, there's a good argument that he really needs to just be fixed. Like, I normally don't propose that, but his hormones have literally now potentially doomed the lives of many. I can't tell if she's just annoyed or just really that pissed. Could be both.
Cannot remember my name.
Um. Uh-oh.
So, while not tied to Tony, we have the build of a series being created by the
Title
action of a Stark.
Christ, but it really does run in the family. Next, you'll be telling me that one of the Starks caused Hitler to swear vengeance on the world or something.
Yeah, that was my issue with a couple with the first two MCU Spider-Man movies. That their actions, the actions of the villains, weren't anything to do with Peter. Really, they were to do with Stark.
Where's the fun in just killing you?
Not to mention, they probably would have done already that.
Yeah.
When Gotham is ash, New York is ashes, then you have
Then
my
you
permission
have
to
my
die.
permission to die.
Let me
Well,
check
look at the
let me check the filmography of his actor to see if there's something that he can regret.
Hey, you know, since
Oh, there it is.
since
The Mamma Mia movies. There you go.
Oh
I
God,
mean,
the
the
Oh,
second
second
one
one
it's
wasn't
the
was
that
chair
bad.
for you. The chair.
Okay. The second one wasn't that bad.
But he was in the first one
Oh, you
too,
like this?
apparently.
Oh wait, you like the second one, Drapes?
Wasn't that bad.
Look at the bright side, Howard. At least you haven't made a homicidal maniac of a robot who wants to exterminate all of humankind, and I'm sure you never will.
You know,
Your
I would have
son, on
thought
the other hand,
I would have thought that he'd have a strong enough mind to not be hypnotized.
Nah, Howard is the kind of guy that would
not
instead be
necessarily.
very weak and susceptible to this. And yeah, apparently what he considers his weakest moment is tied to Captain America.
Oh, they're gonna have him fly the plane over like he's saving the day. Jesus.
Don't worry,
Well,
Peggy, I'm gonna save your boyfriend. Wait, what?
how?
Can anything go right for Peggy? Like, Jesus Christ.
Miss
No,
Carter,
nothing.
Miss Carter, I do believe he's been hypnotized.
You know, since technically the MCU was technically started as an adaptation of Ultimate Marvel, especially since, that's how we got Black Nick Fury. If we want to talk about bad stuff Howard Stark did, should we bring up the monkey brains?
To be fair, Jova, that was in universe retconned into being a science fiction thing that the real Ultimate Iron Man was watching.
Okay, basically,
wouldn't shooting him over the water be a bad thing still?
I mean, at the very least, if they down the plane
Treat
before...
it the same way as the bomb in The Dark Knight Rises, dweebs. Even if it's implausible, that's the best shot that they have.
The original origin of Ultimate Iron Man was that Tony was very, very, very sick as a baby, but he got kept alive by monkey brain membranes, essentially, that he was dipped into by his
Blue
father.
paint. We just paint him blue.
Needless to say, that was pretty silly, so that got retconned out.
For some reason, it was written by Orson Scott Card, which, yes, he's very contentious as a writer, but I actually bothered to read Ender's Game, so I know that he's capable of better than that.
I legit wonder if the man just took it upon himself as a challenge to make the wackiest backstory that, mind you, took itself deadly serious.
Jesus.
We really need to reevaluate our definitions of fun. No, I'm sorry. You're totally going to have to shoot down Howard Stark, and he will not live on to procure us.
Don't worry, if that actually happens, the people in the TVA will melt the responsibles.
Abe, sir, what's with that noise in the background?
Nothing. You're in a very happy place finding Captain America for Peggy Carter, who is absolutely naughty of trying to stop us.
It was a trap.
To be fair, this is an old radio system, so it's a push-to-talk kind of situation.
Well, lovely for you.
Good for her.
Oh!
Okay, between really the use of the gas before and this psychotic thing, are we really sure we're not trying to get a female version of the Joker for this?
I mean, shoot. She really could be, basically.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
Wow, that killed her.
Oh.
Well, okay, to be fair, she fell in just the right way that could crack her
And
head
also,
or break
Penny
her
did
neck.
not have a one-liner, for shame. I know that this is supposed to be the 40s or something, but, like, say something simple like Das Vidania, you know?
I was kind of hoping partly that she would at least be Peggy's nemesis for a bit longer, but I guess not.
That's also because she's an original character. We're introducing, for Season 2, we're gonna have Madame Mask being a recurring antagonist.
Ooh, fun.
Ow. Wow, Agent Thompson managed to get, got the drop off by, a pencil pusher.
You're armed, all right, just a different way.
I think you should shoot him. It'll be fun.
At the very least, try maybe the legs, but I mean, that's what I would have said. But learning a bit more recently, I guess it's not a easily cut and dry scenario, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the legs that'll just bleed out and kill you.
Not to mention, you need to have an accurate aim, and the situation has a lot of variables that suggest it might not happen.
This is often why, first and foremost, people are trained to shoot for, like, the chest. Like, as ideal as it would be to get a headshot or whatnot, that can be incredibly tough, and if messed up, can make things go really haywire. And all that stuff with the legs, like you mentioned. So often, they go for the chest.
Thankfully, the Chad, Michael Murray, is too strong to actually be taken down by a simple baseball bat or pipe or whatever he used.
Whack.
He had his earplugs in.
It was pretending.
It's the ear version of the lip trick from Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Do it.
Can't believe I'm going through this shit again.
Will she be able to talk Howard Stark out of a move that would
After
lead
these
to him being
messages.
killed? Yes.
See?
Well,
As far as they know. Not to mention, I see, this is symbolic because Peggy is symbolically letting go Steve again by telling Howard to let him go. It's clever. Shut up.
You see, this time she's able to talk a man out of doing a suicide mission with a plane.
Oh god, it's the plane equivalent of Spider-Man trying to stop a woman falling from the bridge.
Exactly. Finally, I was able to do it.
Yes,
Funny thing
yes.
is, I think Spy
You say Gwen Stacy finally, I know.
for like what, the 10th or 11th time. Seriously, that happened like almost every other month at some point.
And you know what's the damnness being drove? At the cost of, being super cynical, I never particularly cared about Gwen Stacy. Like, not to the point of wishing her death or anything, but I thought she was kind of an unnecessary, addition to the cast for the love triangle kind of thing. And that was even before all the shit that happened with the Clone Saga and the rest.
Welcome to the club, honestly. Like, okay, the whole, Gwen Stacy was Peter's true love is something that really feels retconned in, because anyone who remembers what Gwen Stacy actually was like back in the original comics will remember, yeah, she was mainly just made as, like, the opposition to MJ. And,
the
like,
Betty and Veronica duo, so to speak.
And let's be honest,
I don't have to shoot down my own boss.
Let's be honest, it was never gonna work between him and Gwen since Gwen absolutely hated Spider-Man at the time.
Well,
honestly, from what I understand,
the spy actually managed to get away, at least the body. Yeah, Shira?
Honestly, from what I understand, Peter's not allowed to have a happy relationship with anyone.
No, which is bullshit to the highest degree. And like
apparently some fans don't want him to be happy either.
Well, if you mean by some fans, you mean the people who later came to be in charge of it, yeah.
It's the downside of being super popular. You attract crowds of all types. Though I have to be honest, like if the higher ups at Marvel really did not wanted him to be engaged with Mary Jane, at that point, just making him engage with Black Cat.
Oh, well, that's the thing. He and Black Cat were actually in a relationship not too long ago, but Felicia broke it up because she felt that they weren't toxic enough together.
Also because they wanted to kinda retcon the character of Felicia to try to promote her more as a bi icon, which, nothing technically wrong with that, but there's not much genuinity behind it.
Is Dolly going to return in season 2, I wonder?
I think a couple of these plot points will be resolved in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, they repaired the office quickly.
See, and she finally gets the overwhelming standing ovation for her work. Sexism is finally over, thanks to a lot of people dying.
Hmm.
Yes, single-handedly.
I did it all by myself.
We'll see how that pans out in season 2.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, Peggy, that's a nice sentiment, but the entire point is to not letting, people stepping on you.
I wonder if this is like something meant to help extend this out to a second season in that regard. I don't know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that one dickhead is still a dickhead.
I'm just gonna have a drink at 9 a.m.
Hey, it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
It's 2. Well, by that point, it's 2 p.m. Over here. If it's 9 a.m. over
It
there.
really depends on, the different lifestyle. Some people who are, used to be night owls, as in work by the night and then sleep by the day, obviously would prefer to have a drink in what is the morning for other people. So we're finally bringing the waitress in a better kind of lifestyle. Speaking of which, there you go. That's gonna be Peggy's base of operation now.
If I recall correctly, I think this is the house Steve comes to see her when she's old in Winter Soldier as well.
I think so. Which, to be fair, he didn't knew because he will still have one of our Stark's residences.
Who needs a phone in every room?
Well, remember, this is before the age of the smartphone.
I know, Dwibs,
so
having a phone in every
convenience.
room is such a preposterous idea. Now let me use my smartphone to do my dailies on this app. In case you're wondering, because I know that that question might have lingered on your mind, yes, so some part of the fanbase wanted to ship Jarvis and Peggy, but let's remember that Jarvis is an engaged man and Peggy is very loyal to Steve.
He's married.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
I definitely
season 2 will make sure to actually fully cement the idea that these two characters are work best like this.
Well, until the next time he invents something that could end up in the hands
There's
of
the
the
blood.
government. So what's the plot of the next season? Someone wants the blood so they can drink it.
Well, remember, Dottie's apparently still alive.
Also, Dweebs, don't underestimate this. At least in the Silver Bronze Age, Hydra had among its ranks an actual vampire. So I forgot how
Yep.
it was called, like Count something.
That tie is ugly, you know.
Almost every single tie in this season has been ugly.
This
Well,
one is
the other
especially
40s.
ugly.
Like that's why I
What?
keep getting reminded of this Elysium.
40s tie being ugly.
Hey, speaking of Spider-Man rescuing women off the bridge,
Listen,
Don't drink it, Peggy.
oh god, she's gonna make buff fish.
Yeah, I was about to say.
yeah,
Now you just made
Peggy,
the
no.
super soldier equivalent to a fish. So that's how Namor actually happens. There
Peggy,
you go.
you fool! You've created the villain for season 2.
you know what this will do, right? This will influence the fish. Then people will fish those fish out,
Like-
eat that fish, and then we'll get superpowers.
Like
from
you
it.
couldn't flush it in the toilet.
Like, okay, yeah, but then we'd get buff rats. But anyway,
I mean,
like,
I don't
I
see
know
anything
that
wrong
was-
with that.
Right.
Right, post-credit scene. Well, credits scene in the meantime.
I'll wait a moment.
Hey,
Specifically
you literally
about
have to muzzle him.
yeah, Dr. Johan. Let's just say Bobbed is not alone in this cell. No, it's not the Shadow Man from Amazing Spider-Man 1.
The lady is living
Or-
in the walls.
Or two.
That voice sounds a bit familiar.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
It's
Toby
Yeah.
Jones.
Dr. Arnim Zola. I love his
Nazi and his-
expression.
Well, given that he is Russian, he should probably hate his guts.
For this continuity, see, this is basically setting up something for the Winter Soldier. If you recall with that, S.H.I.E.L.D. was revealed to having been taken over and become a cell, basically, of Hydra, lead partially by Arnim Zola, stuck in a computer, as a tongue-in-cheek way to reference his robotic body. See, that's because the character of Johann Fenhoff in the comics is actually from Austria, not Soviet Russia, and his real identity is the one from the book that he was reading, Dr. Faustus. He's a prominent Hydra member, and while he doesn't have any superpowers, just like in here, his whole shtick is about persuasion and mental manipulation. He specializes in psychotic, concoctions, holograms, flashing lights to, suggest you, and he's capable of mass hypnotizing people if he wants. So he's a valuable asset for the Red Skull forces. And
Of course.
that's the series' way of, justifying why S.H.I.E.L.D. would collapse over time, because Zola had someone, help. If I recall correctly, this is also referenced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where the method used to brainwash is literally referenced directly as called as the Faustus method.
Okay, if I recall correctly, there were even some time travel episodes where the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ended up interacting with Peggy Carter and company, but don't quote me on that.
Alright, that being said, that's pretty much it for Season 1. So, final thoughts,
So,
Dweebs.
thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was solid overall. I mean, there were one or two questionable moments, particularly in the finale, where things would have been solved if they just looked better. As in keep an eye out on things better. I don't think 2 dead bodies are that hard to notice.
It's like it's the golden rule in stealth games, Dweebs. People don't look up.
Or in my case, people don't climb up ladders.
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the overall was a lot of fun, and it was this. It's nice seeing some older characters not often used in the movies, but I'd see them more often. Solid music, and I know what I am looking forward to season 2. Just if anything, just to see how they're going to solve that issue with with the Russian agents. Anything
Funny
else
you
I can
mention
mention?
that. Well, I should probably bring this up and whatnot. So, okay, apparently, when it comes to said Russian agent, I had pondered the idea that, oh, she might actually be from the Red Room, essentially. You know, obviously something that hadn't been thought of. So apparently, similar case there, where she was retroactively made into essentially one of the origins of the Black Widow program, essentially. Yeah, the funny thing is that even the actress herself did not know that the character was a Black Widow originally.
Oh well.
Huh. Well, there's a way to surprise people.
To their
But yeah,
credit, they went on to say that they did study Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow choreography, which, yeah, in hindsight, I definitely see.
so yeah, overall, yeah, it was fun for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Shiro?
Okay, that's me then.
I really enjoyed this. Pretty consistent in quality. Not saying what I'm about to say is a bad thing as far as the finale goes, more like a what the fuck. Because like I know that scene was supposed to be a sort of like spreading the ashes thing for Peggy, but like you just fucked up an ecosystem. Like,
It's like, I get it. They
that was
want to
not
do some...
ashes. That was super powered blood.
Yes.
Jeez. It's more funny than anything. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, pretty consistent throughout. I don't think there were any particularly bad episodes. It was just a good time, really. And I think that's it.
Alright, I'll go next. It's fine. As a not first, because I think Agents of Shield season 1 had already happened at the very least, but one of the early attempts
Yes.
for an MCU tie-in kind of, series. It's perfectly self-contained. It doesn't overstay too much its welcome. For 8 episodes, it would be the equivalent of 16 of average size. So, checks out pretty much. The only thing that I will note is that, Peggy really has to climb such a steep stair, unfortunately. I get about, having the stakes for a spy story, but the poor girl barely catches a break, and even and at the end, they treat the thing as in the greatest story almost never told, where, Chad Michael Murray's character gets the glory, and she's just okay with it because it's not worth it. I don't know. Could have been handled a bit better, I suppose. It's also nice to see it both acting as an actual tie-in to the actual movies, but not being afraid to try to introduce a couple of actual comic book characters like Dr. Faustus. Season 2 will also do that with the aforementioned Madame Mask, but you'll be able to see how that gets pulled off. So that's actually still relatively neat. It's worth noting that, again, this and the Netflix series were trying to be much more subdued to the point where a lot of people were questioning about their canonicity as a result, outside of having an origin point connected to the movies. Nowadays we know that they are in some capacity at the very least, but this was still before Kevin Feige announced the more massive aggressive type of program that started with WandaVision about having more clear tie-in that are acting as filling material between movies. So this actually has a bit of an advantage of just requiring one movie or two tops, if you really want, maybe the first Iron Man to get a bit of ironing around the Starks. So there is that, if you are someone who don't want to have much of a baggage. The acting is fine, the music too, as well. Like I said, it's not the most perfect kind of series, but it is enjoyable enough. Jova.
So, yeah, no, this was a good first season. Okay, I will say this. I think the thing that does bug me a bit first, just getting some of the negatives out of the way first, is I do feel like some things were kind of left a little too open-ended, and I get it. At the very least, they were certain a second season was happening, but something feels a bit loose. Like, the mustachioed assassin, who I've now realized is called Sasha Demidov. Again, last we saw, he went over the edge on a cliff with that truck, but no body. Again, I feel like they were setting up to have him back. I do know that we did think he was the guy who shot the agent, but in hindsight, maybe that was Dottie, so maybe he actually is just dead then? I'll admit, it just feels weird that we kind of went this whole season thinking he was still alive when no, he's supposed to be dead if that really is the case. Like, I don't know, usually these kind of movies are more clear when someone's absolutely dead, especially since he was a big deal. Going to some other things, it does feel like Peggy gets a little bit dumped on with the trauma with each episode. Holy cow. It's nice that she rises above it all, though. I'll admit, I do feel a bit off with Thompson taking all the credit at the end when he was clearly getting, better and whatnot. Like,
I think this is
what the
deliberate
hell?
setup for, the next season. That's probably the conflict that they want to maybe start. Again,
Man,
it's been a while.
I'm not always a fan of when a show kind of just artificially extends a conflict just because, oh, we need something to keep the spice going for the next season. It's like, nah, think of something that at least makes sense, guys. But I digress. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a better team dynamic next season or whatnot. That being said, the positives. First of all, the main duo, Peggy and Jarvis, are, well, again, it's like a revival of the Avengers TV series. Two snarky Brits, although this case leading an American show, yay for you, Dwibs and Shiroi. But yeah, no, the dialogue between them is nice. The action is pretty good. Now, it does have that quirk of earlier Marvel shows where the stark difference in budget is very, very apparent. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did get better with the budget over time as well, but
Yes
again,
and no.
there was definitely a time when the gaps could be shown. Like, I'll admit, one thing I do appreciate about with the Disney Plus series is, like, they at least do feel like, okay, this is definitely the same universe with the budget they do put into those series.
You can
and
still
whatnot.
tell a bit of difference, but they're trying much more. Each showcase a lot more budget. Definitely.
Definitely. Other than that, though, like, the action is overall good. The characters are relatively well-rounded and whatnot. I do feel like this goes for a relatively decent balance of showcasing the problems of the 40s without trying to act like it's all completely terrible and whatnot, like 24/7 beaten to our heads how bad it was, essentially. But also still showcasing the problems and the way there was to go. In other cases, this does essentially feel like an extension of the short. I do think it's kind of a shame, though, that, because in some ways this kind of clashes with the short, unless the head of SSR that we see at the end of the short, before getting replaced by Peggy, who also did technically show up in Captain America. Whiner guy, I forget his name, but, unless he shows up at the end as, like, the head of the SSR before S.H.I.E.L.D. gets absorbed, I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of why Agent Carter kind of got considered non-canon. Again, shame, because I do think it's a good one that, for the most part, does work with the MCU. Which, hey, what more can I ask for? That said, overall, I think it's good, but there's a lot of room for improvement in the next season. So here's hoping that next season does indeed deliver.
Oh, see you for that.
See ya.
See ya.